and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I talk all about houseplants and how to best care for them. Today we're going to be making sphagnum moss poles. The reason that you want to make a moss pole for your plants is so that we can replicate their natural growing environment as well as support the plant so that it can grow to its full potential. Before we get started, I'll go over the things that you'll need for this project. Really a simple one. All you need is plastic coated wire mesh. The reason it's plastic coated is that we don't want it to rust. The moss that we're going to be placing inside of it will be damp. You can either use zip ties, or I found these twist ties that are awesome, and they have like an attached cutter right here too. Of course, you'll need sphagnum moss. I have mine ready to go. It's already dampened in here. You'll need wire cutters. I'm using one that I had pre-cut, but if you're going to cut this off of a roll, you'll need wire cutters. And then of course, a plant to use the pole with. So this is a philodendron pink princess. Not a whole lot of pink on it, unfortunately, but hopefully as this plant grows and matures and I provide it with some more light, we'll see a lot more pink. Well, the first step is you're going to take the coated wire and shape it kind of into almost like a taco. We're just going to begin working it so that we can have a place to put our dampened moss, and then we'll close up the circle. So it's going to be one long cylinder. So I'm just working it like that. I'm leaving it open so that I can put the moss in there. Now I'm not going to fill up the entire length of my wire. The reason being that it dries out, and there's no point in keeping the top full of moss when my plant is only this tall. So they're going to be inside of a planter. So what I would imagine is some soil at the bottom, then the plant. So I'll probably do moss up to about this point. So I'm going to start filling that up. Also like to have a mat on the surface if you're indoors. If you can do this outside, that's a great idea too. And you want to keep the moss nice and fluffy. I don't want to make it dense, because the idea is that the plant's nodes would go into the moss and root. So if it's really dense, it would be harder for the plant to do that. Seen these in stores, but I really like spending time doing things myself at home, working with my plants. So making it is easy and effective. So now I'm going to work at closing this and then sealing with one of these wire ties, or you could use zip ties if that's what you have. And now that I have my twist ties on there, I am going to go through and clip off the edges. Now it's time to pot. Prefer to keep my plants in a growing pot or a nursery pot, but I do want to size up so that I can fit the pole and plant next to each other inside of this larger, more decorative pot. The idea is that you want to place them as close together as possible, pointing the nodes into the moss so that it's going to encourage growth. Think of this pole as almost like an extension of the growing medium that you have your plant in, because like I said, it's damp. You can even add fertilizer to the water that you'll place on this to keep it damp. So it's really going to provide nutrition and encourage great growth for your plant. This is the nursery pot I'm going to size it up into. Might be a little tricky fitting them both in there, but I have a little bit of soil in the bottom. I'm going to push this down and see how it's kind of leaning like that. What you could do is use a metal stake or a bamboo stake and attach it with the wire ties if you'd like to. Since this is pretty sturdy, I'm thinking I won't have an issue with keeping it upright. Add a little bit more before adding the plant. I do. Let's hope that doesn't tip over. I like to use bag potting mix and add in perlite as well as orchid bark. That's something that the majority of my plants are really happy with. You see, it's fitting in there nicely. So now I am going to add soil all around, and then you can choose to do this or not. I am going to probably use some plant Velcro. You could always use the wire ties, but I think the Velcro will be a little bit more gentle to better attach the two. so that they will grow roots. Always looking for reasons to use plant Velcro. It's something that I really like, but like I said, you don't necessarily need it. You can use twine, string, a bunch of ways to do this. I'm going to take this and place inside my decorative pot and see, not the most gentle, but I'm going to see if everything is staying upright. And it is. So now I'm going to water the plant and watch it grow. It's pretty easy, right? Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you'll hit subscribe and we can love our plants together.